So Buddha's time, there was a monk, and who came to Buddha and he said, I have a lot of thoughts. I can't free from all the thoughts. So therefore, I cannot be a monk anymore because I cannot meditate, and I am planning to leave the monastery because I cannot practice. Buddha said, okay, but can I make a suggestion? He said, yeah, what would be the suggestion? It is okay to think anything, but can you only not to think about one thing? Yeah, that would be easier, to not to think about only one thing. Yeah, then don't think about monkeys. Before that he asked, do you ever think about monkeys? No, I don't. Often I don't. Oh, then your job is don't ever think about monkeys anymore. Is that it? He said, yes, that's it. Go and practice that. So what happened? Now, he wanted to not to think about monkeys. How much he wanted to not to think about something, that on his head. That's in his mind. It keeps disturbing him. So then at that night, and he went to see his teacher, and he said, "This is what Buddha asked me to do, but even now monkeys are everywhere. They are following me." That is the nature of our mind. So observing the thoughts can be a challenge for many of us, but it can be very easy meditation for some of us compared to breath meditation. But it is better to do once a while that kind of meditation, even though if it is difficult for you, to get to know the nature of your mind. I remember one of our meditation teacher, somebody came to see him and then asked a question about this particular training or this particular technique, observing the mind. Then this teacher asked him, this person, this meditator, he said, "Dear sir, I'm having difficult time to observe my mind, observe my thoughts." Then this teacher asked him back, "Have you ever watched TV?" He said, "Oh yeah, all the time, every day." "How long do you sit in front of your TV?" He said, "Sometime hours, sometime 2 hours, sometime when I watch movies, it's more than an hour." Then this teacher said, "Oh, then you can do this meditation." "How so?" "Yeah, it is just like sitting on the TV. Go and sit in front of your TV. Can you do that?" He said, "Oh yeah, that would be easy. But don't turn it on." So can you just sit in front of your TV without turning it on? Just like this is the meditation. This is very equal to the meditation what you just practiced. But it is better to understand the nature of our thoughts. That is the purpose of practicing this meditation. What is the nature of the thoughts, and what's the nature of the mind? How do you know you have a mind? You think you have such a thing called mind because you don't know where it is, you don't know what it is, you don't know even how big or how small or what's the color of it. Any of those, we don't know. But we think we have a mind because we know the production of the mind. Production of the minds are the thoughts, emotions, feelings. Without mind, you will not have any feeling. Without mind, you will not have any emotion. Without mind, you will not have any even sensation. Even though you should have body to get sensation, to recognize those sensations, you have to have a mind. Everything, when it comes to your mind, it comes as a thought. Thoughts are the production of your mind. So even though you call mind, what do you call as a mind? You are calling this activity. It is an activity. That's why it doesn't have a location or place or shape or color. It is not a thing. You can learn the nature of this activity, mind, by observing it. It always follows the patterns. You can introduce any pattern, and you can introduce new pattern to replace any existing patterns. How many thoughts you can have in one moment at once? It doesn't matter how fast you think. It doesn't matter how much you want to think. Capacity of your mind is only for one thought. One thought at a time. That's the capacity. It doesn't matter how small or how big or how rich or how poor you are. You can only occupy one thought at a time. Now, what is the nature of this thought? How long that thought exists? Thought exists only a moment. That thought leads to another thought. Then that thought leads to another thought. There's a very good practice, the meditation practice sometimes meditators do with the flame of the candle or flame of the oil lamp. If you have, we don't have a candle today. If we have it, I would easily explain it to you. But anyhow, I will try. Just think about once when you light the candle, then you will see the flicker. Even after 5 minutes, you will see the same flicker. But if you are really being observer, you would say that is not the same flicker you had even a few seconds ago. One flicker is leading to another flicker. Every moment you have a new flicker. Every moment. But for an unmindful person, it's the same. For a mindful person, it's notice you every moment one flicker is leading to another flicker. It's leading to another one. continuing. Just like our mind, just like our thoughts. Then even 5 minutes later, you have a thought, but it is not really the same thought you had 5 minutes ago. It is not totally free from the mind you have. Whatever the thought you have in your mind right now, it is familiar to you. It's a production of your own mind. Whether it is based on anger, frustration, anxiety, fear, love, compassion, generosity, whatever the thoughts you have, it's a production of your mind. That shows what you are and who you are and what you have done or who you have been. By knowing the nature of your mind, you can help you to introduce the nature, or you can help you to become the person who you want to be. But without knowing who you are, you cannot be a person who you want to be miraculously. You need to train, you need to practice. But in order to do that, first of all, you need to understand the nature of your mind. But as a meditator, when you happen to train this ability to observe your mind or observe your thoughts without supporting those thoughts, what happened? Without that support, your mind will start to slow down. Then eventually you will see the space in between thoughts. So most of the time when you have the space in between thoughts, you may begin to bring another thought to replace that. You may think, oh, now I'm not thinking. There you are thinking. Oh, now I don't have a feeling. There you are thinking. And sometimes meditators often find when they are meditating or when they are observing the breath, all of a sudden no thoughts, and they are having very quiet time. Then when they happen to notice that, oh, I'm not thinking, I'm having good meditation, then hereafter you are having hard time to meditate or focus again, because we ruin the mindfulness by thinking we are meditating, or by thinking we don't have a thought. Again, people struggle because you have the taste. You notice the taste of that quiet mind. Now we are trying to go back, but you were there because of quietness, because of not having any expectation. You were there as a result of your practice. But now here you have intention to go there. Because of intention, you cannot go back to the same place. Now those are the things you are going to learn with your meditation. So by observing your breath, by observing your present moment of mind, you are going to recognize that. So remember, we should not run away from us. We should not run away from our mind or our thoughts. Because one of the golden nature of our mind and our thoughts are, whatever is there, it is impermanent. Appear and disappear. That happens very fast. That's the nature of the mind. That's the nature of the thoughts. That's the nature of everything in this world. So, when you go a little further, you may ask yourself, what do I have? Really ask yourself, what do you have? What do you have? You only have this moment. That is the reality. That is the radical reality. Only thing what you have is just this particular moment. You don't have anything else. Even though you think you have your house, you have this and that, you don't have your house right now. It's somewhere else. You have this moment. You don't have your past anymore. It's only a memory. You don't have future. The matter is, how do you feel this moment? If you are feeling this moment with anger, that's what you will have. If you are feeling this moment with compassion, that's what you will have. If you are feeling this moment with frustration, that's what you will have. Now, what is behind this feeling? It's the nature of your mind. Now, how do you gain the nature? You have gained the nature by training. So, you have a present condition of the mind. Now, that is the result of your past. You will have the certain condition of your mind in the future. That will be the result of your present life. Whatever you are doing today, whatever you are doing to your mind today, will introduce the nature of your mind in your future. Your future is the result of present. Therefore, we have to choose our present conditions wisely. If you can feel this moment wisely, that will lead you to have a beautiful life in the future. Again, we are doing that by knowing the nature of ourselves or the reality of the self. What is that? Whatever it's there only for a moment. Even the happiness, even the joy, even the compassion, even the anger. Therefore, we should not run away from anger, frustration, or anxiety by blaming, by complaining to us. When those things are there, we mindfully recognize, okay, this is what I have right now. But this is not me or mine. Even the compassion, it's not me and mine. It's a production of our mind. Any thoughts or questions?
So when you talk about the space between thoughts, so would you please explain or go further on what do you define what is thoughts? I think mindfulness is thought, or mindfulness is not thought. consciousness or subconsciousness is thought or not. So by define the difference between these, I think yogi may gain some insight on the space between thought. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that question. As I explained to you, when you observe the thoughts, of course, you will see when thoughts begin, and when thoughts are there, you notice. When thoughts disappear, you notice. Then again, when that thought leads to another thought, you notice. So, how do we notice? You have awareness. You are being aware of the thoughts. Not only that, you will being aware of all the pain, sensations, sounds, and when the sounds begin to start, you will notice it. When it's become part of your mind, you will notice it. When it disappear, you will notice it. When the moment come to not to seeking a thought, then all the outside things will be there, but your mind will not engage with any thoughts. Entire world will be there, even the pain is there, sounds will be there, others will be there, even memories will be there. But as a meditator, you will notice there are moments of no thoughts. Now, his part of the question is, what is observing that? That's we call awareness. You are just being aware of the nature of your mind. Unmindful people always trying to fill that space. But because of your training, or because of the practice, then you will come to a place to just to being able to recognize this moment with no attachment and detachment. There you will have a neutral state of mind. And this is very special to understand. Because this is not something that everybody can achieve and gain. The neutral state of mind. You have no desire. If you have desire, then you always try to fill the blank. You always try to think about something. When you have that neutral state of mind, you are being free to recognize that space of no thoughts. Again, the question is, what is that? Is that another thinking? Is that another, what is mindfulness? What is, who's observing this? Or what is observing that? Those questions are there as long as we have a person, as long as we have something. But now this is opposite of that. Now that would be the reality you will recognize. Now this is the true self or true nature of yourself, which is really when you come to that neutral state of mind, that just things are there, but you are not supporting for any thoughts to exist. Now, as a result of that, what happened? As a result of that, the subtle joyfulness or relaxing mind, the joyfulness will begin to exist. Then you are comfortably looking at that emptiness. You are comfortably and joyfully, you are seeing this no thought state. Now that is the taste people like to, people normally experience, but they can't explain that what it is. People like meditation because of that. But that joyfulness, that relaxing mind, not really relaxing, but there's no other way to explain that with words. In Dharma, in teachings of the Buddha, it explained as a piti. Piti is a joyful mind. Next step would be that comfort, the likeness, we call sukha in Pali. People like the taste of that. That leads you to have a strong concentration and awareness. But this is another thing to understand. Nature of our mind always has two edges, two heads, looking for. Now when you are doing one thing, you always looking to do another thing, different thing. That's why people, when they are sitting, they want to check the email, they want to look at their phone. While you are driving, doing one thing comfortably, you want to turn on the radio, or because if you don't have anything else going on, two edges, two heads. Now in this state of meditation, that those two edges merging into one. In Pali we call ekaggata. So this would be the only experience coming from the meditation. You cannot explain or have this experience out of the meditation. So practice or introduce this nature of mind by being in that one-pointedness. Maintaining that would lead you to have a strong and long meditation. But this is beyond a thought, this is beyond the even mind, but this is the one way that establishing the strong state of mind. I think for this class, that would be enough. Thank you for asking that question. And also I want all of you to think that this is not something complicated. This is very simple. This is very simple, but the only thing is on the common world, on the mainstream world, we don't know how to practice that, or we don't know the value of that. Only meditators would recognize the value of this kind of practice. So I would encourage you to practice more and more and experience that, and bring that joy, bring that true joyfulness into your life. That will help to you to get to know your mind more and more. So thank you very much for being here, and let's enjoy the tea and a snack.